And what up, YouTube? We are here watching the Plymouth versus Liverpool game. I've not done a watch along on one of this channel in quite a while, but huge game. This one, it really is. We've got Plymouth looking to cause a bit of an upset. They are at home, which certainly makes things a bit more interesting. Home park, as predicted, absolutely sold out. And yeah, I think Muslich, I don't know entirely how you pronounce that name, but he'll be looking to getting an upset here, as will Pieface, Cornish Jan, or any other Plymouth YouTubers that you know on fan bases. Honest Lot will be looking to avoid it, and all the Liverpool fans as well, as they have half an eye on the quadruple this season. Whether that's going to happen or not is an interesting one. They may get the domestic treble. I'm not quite sure about being able to get the Champions League. That is for sure. We're about 15 minutes away from kickoff here. I'm going to probably go through the lineups and give my sort of early thoughts. At halftime, I'll give my thoughts about the Derby County managerial situation, which has emerged over the last week. But yeah, Plymouth have got Hazard in goal, a back three. They're playing a 3-4-2-1 of Televirov, Katic, Pluguzuro. Sorry, I need to do this. Televirov, Katic, and Pluguzuelo. Why do they have the hardest name of the back? It's a difficult team to pronounce, Plymouth's. They've got a midfield four on the wings. They've got Sorinola and Puchaz. And in the midfield two, they've got Randall and Giabi. They've got then two supporting a target man of Bundu and Wright. And they've got Hardy as a number 9. Liverpool, they've played a semi-decent starting lineup in their typical 4-2-3-1 fashion. They've got Kelleher in goal, a back four of Shimikas, Kwanzaa, Endo, and Joe Gomez. Holding two midfielders of McConnell and Nyoni, who both, I think, are academy players. Then they've got a three behind Diego Jota of Luis Diaz, Harvey Elliott, and Federico Chiesa. Very interesting, clearly going strong. I'll just rattle quickly through the benches on both teams. Plymouth has got Bali Mumba, Jordan Horton, Michael Obafemi, Malachi Boateng, Mohamed Tijani, Rami Al-Haj, Michael Badu, Daniel Grimshaw, and Victor Pachon. On bench for Liverpool, we've got Darwin Núñez, Curtis Jones, Trent Kone-Doherty, a new Trent there. Would be interesting if there was two Trents at Liverpool playing at the same time. Isaac Mabaya, Vitislav Jaros, Amara Narlo, Rio Nugamaha, James Barry Norris, and Ranel Young. So there's not that much depth of strength for the Liverpool bench. They're just going to be hoping that they have got enough sort of talent in their starting 11 to manage to see the game out, I would imagine. It'll be an interesting one. It's disappointing for Plymouth. They've had an interesting transfer window. They've lost Morgan Whittaker, who was definitely their star over this course of the season. They are currently struggling heavily in the Championship. I think they are bottom of the league. I think for me, it's going to be a difficult one for them to get a result here. They've had a lot of arrivals coming in during the course of this transfer window. I mean, whether that is clicking or not, I'm not quite sure yet. I suppose we'll probably see coming into the season. They have turned over a profit, both of these teams by a margin of about 5 million. Bringing it that the new rivals of Televirov, Baidu, Boateng, Puchaz, and Katic are all within the matchday squad. They've lost Morgan Whittaker, Lewis Gibson, have both been moved out for quite substantial fees, over £7 million for Morgan Whittaker and 1.8 for Lewis Gibson. It will be interesting, I think that is fair to say. I think Liverpool have had a bit of a quieter transfer window, not much ins and outs going on there. They obviously want to, it's more for Liverpool about retaining the squad, and I think it's fair to say that Liverpool have managed to do that this transfer window, with several big clubs circling for the likes of Salah and Trent. They have managed to ward off the swarming vultures. They've only lost, hardly anything. Peter Luger has gone out on a free to Fluminense, but realistically, he wasn't ever going to really get a chance to get his starting 11's berth. There's been no arrivals either. So yeah, overall, quite mixed. Who do I think will win? By Benjamin Gilson. I think it's, well, if you looked at my match day predictions, which I'll go back to because I don't like changing my match day predictions, I think it's going to be 1-0 Liverpool. I think it'll be very close. Jonathan has been said, as he was also on the channel earlier on this year, said, I reckon Plymouth will get an upset. Liverpool is washed. It'll be interesting if that happens, Jonathan. It certainly will. If you fancy coming on, I know there's a possibility that you may be able to. But yeah, I think that's an interesting opinion. That's what I'm saying, Jonathan. I think the likelihood of Liverpool getting knocked out at this stage. I know Plymouth will be an upset. They're good at home, but there's only so good at home you can feasibly be when you've got Liverpool coming and knocking, and you just need to look at the course of a championship season to just see the gulf between. I think Liverpool have lost once this season in the league. Plymouth have lost 15 times, conceded 63 goals. I mean, it's not looking great. I mean, I hope that does continue, by the way, that Plymouth carry on losing. As a Derby fan, I am very biased and would rather that they go down. But yes, as I said, I will talk about the Derby managerial situation at half-time. KJ Luke, Sigma on the wall, who's the skibbity's football of them all? Jono pressed send. Who wrote it, though? Okay. So, thanks, KJ. For the brain rot to kick off the video. Cheers for that. I mean, I'm imagining all 3 people in the comments are watching it together at the moment. We've got 4 people watching live. The people who are commenting at the moment, I all know in real life, so that's why I'm smiling to myself, because I know what they're like. Do put your score predictions down in the comment section in the live feed. I'd be fascinating to hear what you think. I think it could be a close game. As I said, 1-0 to Liverpool is my predictions. They've not got a lot of firepower at the moment. Luis Diaz and Diego Jota, both very good players, but it's not Salah, is it? I've noticed that they've deliberately left Darwin Núñez on the bench. He probably will come on at some point. The watch party of the watch party. You love to hear it, Jonathan. Yeah, I mean, maybe I started the stream a little too early. We've got 5 minutes. There's an ad break on ITV at the moment. Oh, no, there's not. There's quite a lot of green flags at Home Park at the moment. Looking a very packed out stadium. There'll probably not be a single empty seat, I would imagine. They normally fill it out for the championship games. Green Army, and yeah, be very interesting to see how they get on. Will they be returning to their home happy and delighted as they look at the moment with their bananas, or will they be going back disappointed? Benjamin Gilson said, yeah, to be fair, they'll have arrested a lot of players for more important games like the Merseyside derby. Spot on. The Merseyside derby, I think, is going to be a very physical game. I actually am tempted towards an Everton win for that one, for reasons that it's the last one, I think, at Goodison. Also, David Moyes seems to have got some good rhythm of play going on at the moment at that club. Merseyside derby, all form does go out the table, but we're not talking about the Merseyside derby here. As for teams, two teams are in the tunnel. They're about to come out. I think it'll be a tense game, I reckon, to begin with. Lots of cagey passes by Plymouth before they grow properly into the game. Alexander-Arnold is injured for this game as well, which does make a very big difference. That could make a difference because I think he's injured for the Merseyside derby as well. Salah absolutely should be rested. Got him in my fantasy team. I mean, you sort of have to at this point. He is a luxury player, but he's a player that you need. So yeah, I think we've got 4 minutes to kick off. I'll be fascinated to know who's from the starting lineups really catching the eye at the moment. For me, it's hard to kind of place. I don't watch Plymouth every week. I think Endo, although he may not get much work to do, from what I've seen of him, is a very good, technically gifted player. Good to see Chiesa back, actually. I completely forget that he signed for Liverpool this summer, gone by. I think with Federico Chiesa, he is somebody we could definitely feasibly see getting back to that peak. So it was a while ago now, that Italy winning the Euros, but he was instrumental in that win over England. And as a result, I don't think a lot of England fans have a lot of time for him. But overall, he's a decent player. Has just had a bit of an injury-ridden season, and if he gets back fully firing, then you know what? We can very feasibly see him doing well in this second half of the season. I think this is the final ad break before we get into it. Obviously, ITV have ads. It will be. I mean, would people be interested in either seeing a watch along with some friends for the Newcastle game in the EFL Cup, or are you content to watch it yourself and I go down to the pub? Let me know. Because I kind of think it's on ITV, the EFL Cup final. So also on a Sunday will be absolutely fascinating to see which one that one goes, because I think every single person wants Newcastle to win this in where I'm sitting right now, including myself. If it would be great to see the Geordies lifting some silverware. Whether that happens this season, I don't know. It could be a little bit too early. Yeah, I think we're about to have kick-off here. Everyone's crowding around the centre circle, and the managers are doing the pre-handshakes. Yeah, I reckon this could be a shock. I think it will definitely be a shock if they do win. But if it happens, well, we'll see. Mascots are now leaving the pitch and people are getting into positions. Is everybody ready in the comment section? I mean, I can rattle quickly through the 11 again if we need a recap. Hazard in goal, Talavirev, Katic, and Pluguizelo for a back three of Plymouth. Midfielders Sorinola, Randall, Gaiabi, and Puchas. Supporting line, Hardy up top is Bundu and Wright. And then for Liverpool, we got Diego Jota, Luis Diaz, Harvey Elliott, Federico Chiesa, Joe McConnell, Noyoni, Simicast, Kwanzaa, Endo, Joe Gomez, and Kelleher in goal. Oh, yeah. If Jota is marked out this game, we'd definitely. Oh, sorry for that. Bless me. If Jota is marked out the game, it could be a very interesting one. Because that's the one who I at the moment got my key eye on. Plymouth playing in their usual green and white. That is a bit of a notable colour. And we've kicked off Liverpool in their white kits, which is their away kit, white and black. And it's been pumped long to begin with almost immediately. And yeah, Liverpool are working their way down the wings. Oh, it's been halted on the halfway line. But yeah, I think Plymouth will have to ride some early press. I'd say. I think Liverpool will be coming at them. We've got a wide for first. If you get into the game, first 10 minutes, certainly would be a maybe they can get a result. I'm turning off the subtitles, which is always a danger. And there's a first shot of the game. There wasn't much in it, and it's come out. But Plymouth still have it on the wings. Well covered there by the number 19 for Liverpool, which I believe isn't Harvey Elliott getting back and doing his defensive duties. Absolutely great play to begin with by Plymouth. They've worked their way down the wings and instantly applied some pressure. I think it was Guyarbi who potentially was doing that. The name Plugwazuo, or he's a very difficult name, who is a defender number 5 but playing as a left back. This game has launched it in. It's not cleared entirely. It's a bit of a aerial ping pong at the moment, and Liverpool eventually clear it only to the halfway line, where the number 40 for Plymouth, Tavlivov, has just headed it out. He's got Mackie on his back. So I think Liverpool will be content to just keep possession, I think, is what they're wanting to do, because Plymouth have already shown early signs that if they get up in your faces, that they can certainly potentially get into some difficult positions. I'm sure Liverpool's defence is completely adequate at keeping it out, marshalled, of course, by Joe Gomez. Liverpool just keeping it content around the midfield at the moment, just keeping it across the ground, slow build-up play across the midfield between the defenders, surveying their options. As you'd expect from a Liverpool team, no rushing into things. Plymouth are trying to apply a press, but I think Liverpool are more than coping for it, and that's a through ball which has found absolutely no one and gone to the Plymouth goalkeeper. Yeah, Plymouth for the first few minutes don't look too bad. They're coping well under a high press from Liverpool at the moment. And the keeper for Plymouth boots it downfield, gets it to the halfway line. Picked up in midfield there by Gayarsi, but he's lost out, and Liverpool are coming again. This will probably be the story of this match, of Liverpool coming forward in numbers. There's at least 3 players who could have taken either an assist or a shot at that point. So yeah, I think riding the pressure is going to be pivotal for this game for Liverpool. That is for sure. I mean, it's gone out of play for a throw, and I didn't quite see how that happened. Crossfield ball for the Liverpool defence. And they are now going forward, utilising the wings to a great deal of effect at the moment. It's gone in centrally, but he's being hounded. The player of Liverpool is being hounded down by Wright. Not a tackle coming in yet. Good block by Plymouth there, but they've come away with the ball now. This is what they may have to be doing on a counter-attack, and it's launched downfield by the number 15, Bundu. The number 9 has squared it across, but Kelleher is equal to it. Couldn't quite be beaten by Wright there, but it was a good, ambitious move on the counter-attack by Plymouth there. Darting down the wings into centre. It was just had a bit too much on it, and I think Kelleher was always going to get there first. But early warning shots from Plymouth that they can hit teams on a counter. And so if Liverpool move too far forward, we may be a bit itchy bum time. I think that's fair to say. So yeah, throw in for Liverpool, just to the right of the central line. They've done a safe ball throwing it back into the defence. Bit routine by Liverpool, it's fair to say, at the moment. They're just keeping it safe, maintaining possession, making sure that they don't do anything too sloppy at the moment. I think Plymouth will be content to let them just keep the ball minimised, just keep it into the half of Liverpool passing around the back. Doesn't ultimately do too much. Federico Chiesa is protesting something at the moment. I didn't quite see what he is protesting. I don't know. I think it's an offside decision. It's very, very marginal call, that. Slightest of shoulders in it, if that. Munich surveying the game. I think you'll probably be impressed with how his team has started in the first 5 minutes. I think that's fair to say. Launched downfield by Plymouth, but they can't get past the first man in defence. Or they've picked up a ball, or they almost had a great pickpocket there that could have caused a huge amount of pressure. Joe Gomez doing his defensive duties. He's the captain for today's match, as I was probably expecting. I think it's a free kick. I'm not entirely sure what the impediment was. It didn't show it. It was too busy focusing on the beautiful face of Joe Gomez. They're going to try and drag the ball out from the back again at Liverpool. Routine style of play for the Reds for many years. So yeah, crossfield. It looks like it might be about to be pumped downfield, but I doubt Liverpool would be that careless in possession, and they decide to do the safe pass. High press by Plymouth, and that's a foul. Just clattered into. I think that might be Gomez on the floor. I can't quite tell. It's the number 78 clattered by the number 20. So Kwanzaa has been rattled into by Randall. Randall, I believe, is the captain today. I mean, you don't mind seeing that. It's not going to get yourself needlessly booked. And Plymouth have won a foul, a free kick there, after a player which is already down, and he looks quite severely injured there, actually, the Plymouth player who is down, grabbing onto, I believe it's his heel, but it could be his quads. I can't quite see, because it's gone off him, and Arnie Slot is gesticulating something. Potentially substitutions. Joe Gomez is sat down. So I'm not sure what's happened with Gomez in this situation. The number 9, Hardy, has stood up for Plymouth. So he's on his feet. Or is it Sorinola? It might be number 29. But does look like there's going to be an early sub in this game for Liverpool. I think it might be for Joe Gomez. Because there's the number, I think it's potentially 52 or maybe the 82. It's either Mabaya or Young is putting their kit on. I can't quite tell. It's in the bench. But yeah, Joe Gomez has still not gotten up. He's clearly in some discomfort at the moment. I'm not entirely sure how this has happened. I don't know if he was caught at some point during that tackle that was created. But he sat on the floor and he's not looking in the greatest shape. So I think Arnie Slot might take a precautionary sub just before 10 minutes interval here. Not what a Liverpool fan would be wanting to see. Ender receiving some instructions, who I imagine getting said, you're playing it a bit too safe at the moment, trying to do a bit more progressive balls, but I could be completely waffling on that regard. Yeah, I think Gomez quite likely to come off at this point. He's still not stood up, and the referee is standing over him along with the physios, checking whether he is all right. Obviously, a history with injuries for Joe Gomez. So, I mean, It's not what you want to see at the moment, and it does look like there's going to be a sub. Well, pretty early door for Joe Gomez, who has had several quite big injuries in his past. 2020-21 was a very notable one. 2015-16, yeah, he's had quite significant spells before. So he's off at 10 minutes. Not an ideal starting substitution to make. So yeah, Joe Gomez has gone off and he's been replaced by Isaac Mabea. Good experience for the youngster though in the FA Cup, but it does mean that the experience heads. I don't know who's taking the captain's armband, but it may well be case of a 15 for Plymouth has got this one here now. Bundu, he's still got it, and I think he's won a corner there, which I would have to say is very, very good play. I think came off Luis Diaz. This could be an opportunity to whip it in, and we know that Plymouth have the potential threat. Playing in League One for years does set you up for the aerial ball, doesn't it? There's several heights here. Number 9, Hardy, is actually being unmarked at the moment for Liverpool, potentially. I think it's going to be an in-swinger. It's whipped in. Oh, and Kelleher's first to it. On the return, no. Unfortunately, not by Bundu. And I think it's gone out for a throw. Early days warnings of pressure being applied by Plymouth there. It just came too close to Kelleher, and nobody really properly managed to get a hold on the rebound. Because, yeah, there was no way that Guyarbi was going to be able to get through the sea of Liverpool players, and it took a block out. Mabaya taking the throw. This is his pretty much first action. That looked like a foul from the Plymouth player. Number 17 has passed it on for Plymouth. It's all in the Liverpool third at the moment, but they've just cleared it heftily. And the number 40, Tavarev, will pass it to Hazard, and Hazard launches it downfield. Doesn't find his man, and it's on the left wing for Liverpool. Very tense at the moment, and obviously with Joe Gomez coming off, it does already weaken Liverpool's team, which is mainly academy youngsters at the moment. I think Harvey Elliott may potentially have a captaincy. I'm not sure. I've not seen it yet. It is on the wings at the moment. A bit of a tricky footwork from Luis Diaz, but he's not managed to do that. The number 98 has come away with it for Plymouth. The fact that there's a 98, surely. I think it might be 18. Guyarbi. I think the only 98. I think is for Liverpool. Sorry. So no, I think it was Nione for Liverpool. I got the colours wrong. Lol. Yeah, so it's out on the left again, Liverpool's favoured wing, and that is gone past everyone and out, and that was a woeful cross. I think it's by Tsimikas. I don't think that is a great cross at all. To be honest, Tsimikas. We know he doesn't have as good as a cross as Trent, and I think that's being seen. Diego Jota is the one who has picked up a captaincy armband, confirmation of that. It will be a goal kick for Plymouth as they look to start again. They're going to go long on this one. They have launched that downfield and we've got to about the halfway line there. We're going to give it seconds. I'm not sure. It's a bit cagey, and Liverpool come away with this, and Plymouth need to deal with this, and they do. They do hook it away successfully. A bit of an aerial ping pong in the middle field, and it's out again to the left for Liverpool. They're coming very heavily in on the left, so I do feel like if Plymouth are going to counter, going on the right might be the option. Chiesa has not really gotten into the game, and obviously Gomez being injured, it would certainly be a position to target. There is a Plymouth player down on the floor looking quite sore at the moment. I think it might be a head injury, which obviously means instant stop. Under the new rules to prevent concussion, there's been some sort of thing applied. I think it's just he's ended up. I'm not entirely sure how he's done it. I don't know whether he had a poor connection on the head. I can't quite tell how he got injured for that one. But head injuries, even the lightest touch, can cause mayhem. It looks like there's some sort of white thing on his mouth. Yeah, I think he's bleeding from his mouth, which is, I think he might cut his lip or something. Not ideal, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to really fatally wound, well, not fatally, but even be worth a substitution. I think he'll get up and just continue on with it. Yeah, the bench is laughing about it with Mulic having that smile and a wink. I think he knows that he's going to be all right. It is, for confirmation, Katic, who is down, the central midfielder. Yeah, he's just going to be soldiered on, I reckon. I mean, in the FA Cup tomorrow, we've got Exeter City versus Nottingham Forest. We're all hoping Exeter City win this on this channel. So, yeah, in this situation, I think it's a drop ball. I'm not entirely sure who to, but Katic obviously has to come off. Is the injury protocol. I reckon they'll put. I don't know how they're going to entirely stop the bleeding, but I doubt it's too bad. Okay, so it's coming away with Plymouth, and that's now gone out for a throw. Liverpool take this quickly into the central circle. The early days of coming on for number 52 Mabaya for Liverpool, certainly not much has changed in terms of the defensive passing. Plymouth have come away with that in the centre circle there and trying to find the left wing. As I said, that could be an option for going for it. Wright couldn't quite get there, had a bit too much of an angle on it. But yeah, Katic is back on to the pitch. Yeah, he'll be fine. Just taking a bit of a knock to the jaw. I think we've all had it before, a bit of a cut lip. At the end of the day, it's not the worst injury. So yeah, gone long this time for Plymouth. That would have potentially, I think, probably been offside because he looked absolutely miles off shot of there. It is kept possession well there by Liverpool. Really impressed by the number 18 Gaiabi in midfield. And it was a yellow card, the first yellow card of the game goes to Nione. He has just taken the player out there. He's made no contact with the ball. Doesn't look like he's attempted to. So yeah, early day yellow card for Nione. Not as many yellow cards as there was yesterday at Newcastle v Birmingham second half in the FA Cup, which unfortunately Birmingham, although they performed well and had an absolute wonder strike, couldn't quite win and they lost 3-2. But it was a very entertaining game, I must say. Yeah. Randall just in his own half with this free kick. He's going to absolutely lever this downfield. And advisable as well, to be fair. It's gone far, it's gone wide, and he's not managed to find a Plymouth player, and it's hoofed clear by Liverpool. Returned the hoof by the Plymouth, and then a header, and it's become a bit vice versa, and they're just getting about the same distance to each other and both aiming at the other person, it seems. Liverpool have got it back to the ground where they're most comfortable with it at their feet, obviously. Arne Slot known for that cross the ground sort of style of play, something which I employ a lot in FIFA whenever I play FIFA, purely because it's much more easier to keep possession when the ball's on the ground than if you're hoofing it downfield. Someone you should tell non-league teams that. Kelleher has launched that downfield though because he has come under some pressure a couple of times this half already. It's not much in terms of goal mouth action. I don't think there's actually been a shot yet. Certainly not a shot on target. Yeah. Plymouth with a throw in and they've gone long. They have found the number 9, but he's just been pickpocketed there by Simicast, I believe. And Yotta's going to run for this, but the keeper's all day, to be honest. Yeah, bit of a. I think if that was a handball, potentially. Not quite sure what happened. It's all very much been going on in the central circle here for the first 20 minutes. Yeah, it's been a bit cagey. Neither side has really had a clean cut opportunity. It's a scrappy game. I sort of said it was going to be coming into this one. Plymouth know how to scrap. Whether they'll win is a different question. Across the defence, I think Plymouth could definitely pickpocket them at this point. They're playing it very, very safe at the moment. Something that would be interesting is if they do just apply a fair bit of pressure in numbers, but then you don't want to be exposed on counter-attack. Simicast has got it now, content to just pass it back. There's some. I think if I am a number 52 for Liverpool, Mabaya, he had the opportunity to do a run down the wings then and did not have any assistance. Instead, they've opted to the left wing, and Luis Diaz just couldn't quite get there. I think that's potentially gone out for a corner. I didn't quite see the last touch because the number 40. Oh, Joe Gomez has got there just before him, but he has had no control on that touch. But if he did, I think Talo Virov had just enough strength on it to shepherd it out. With his short ponytail of curly hair, it's a very interesting hairstyle look. Yeah, Plymouth come away with it in the midfield. They're also content to keep it on the ground for a lot of this. But then it's absolutely spanned down to counter exactly what I said, straight into Kelleher's arms. I'm sure he's very grateful to receive that, and he's just rolled it out to his defensive partner. Quick diving in, sliding tackle, and Plymouth come away with this in a dangerous area. There's a lot of bodies going forward here. Number 17 for Plymouth does an early cross, Pushaz, but Liverpool do get there and they do clear their lines. Headed by Plymouth, yeah, that's going out for a throw, about in line with the penalty area. For Liverpool, yeah, Liverpool are getting ratted around by Plymouth at the moment. One stray pass could turn this game on its head. Big diving header for Plymouth. Yeah, that guy Arby for Plymouth, solid player at the moment. He's ratting everything around, causing a right nuisance to the midfield to Liverpool. I say he's been quite impressive for me. Booted downfield by the goalkeeper for Plymouth. Hasn't found his man, as I think he's yet to do in most of his goal kicks, to be honest. Good, strong tackle by Plymouth to prevent the onward marching of, I think it was Chiesa in that position. It was being a bit quiet these opening 25 minutes. They've not really utilised the right too much, Liverpool. I don't know if they've switched their positions. I think it's just a like for like at the moment. Yeah, Plymouth can't, when they get possession, seem to maintain it. But if they manage to get it in the right positions, that doesn't matter. Yeah, Luis Diaz there, finding a pass in field. And we've switched play here, and this could be a very good. No, he's not managed to find anyone there. Chiesa. Yeah, that would have been an interesting one if Chiesa could find a white shirt. Yeah, there's a lot of midfield play in this game. It's become a bit dull. Yeah, I think for me, it's going to be KG for out. And that, I think, yep, that's a foul for Plymouth. Diaz has just gone into the back of the player there, who I can't quite make out who that is. It's the number 29, Sorindo, who was just being gone into the back of by Luis Diaz. I don't think there was any attempt to play the ball there. I think it's fairly obvious free kick. Not in an overly dangerous position. It's on the far right-hand side of Plymouth, and they've gone forward with it as predicted. They are back. They are full attacking in numbers at the moment. Cheeky back heel there, Bahia Bundu, and unfortunately for Sorinola, he's managed to get it out of play for a Liverpool throw-in. I think Liverpool might just try and launch this one down the field to try and catch a counter-attack. Yep, they have done. But Plymouth come away with that. That is a sloppy throw-in. At the moment, Plymouth having some clean cuts. Sokanola has tried a cross in, but he hasn't managed to get to his man. But I'm saying now, I mean, he's got a couple of... again, managed to get it out for a throw-in. But Sorinola has got a potential that if he finds his target with his crosses, there is a chance that he makes this game very interesting. But Chiesa has got this and he's bursting forward with pace. He's on the edge of the box here. He's chosen short to Elliott, and Liverpool deciding to go back to the central circle. Great. We all know the Liverpool very, very fast team. Simicas going in field. They're just content to have possession at the moment, it looks like. It's going out to Chiesa. This could be dangerous. I've seen Liverpool versus Accrington Stanley. I think it was in a previous round, and they tore Accrington Stanley apart at least twice on pacey counterattacks. It's always dangerous to attack Liverpool. But yeah, into the penalty area they go, but Plymouth get it clear. I think they've had everybody back there, basically, doing their defensive duties. Endo passes it to the... I think that might be Quansha. I can't quite tell. I think Endo's got it there. He's passed it across field to Quansha again. They're just content keeping it around at the back at the moment. At times can be quite dull to watch, some of this build-up play, but it's just about tiring out the Plymouth players, dragging them left and right. And Liverpool will be more fitter than Plymouth. That has come off the Pluguezuelo and gone out for a throw for Liverpool, just in line with the D. I think. Well, it's now with. Well, I don't know. It's gone. It's in the midfield circle. There's not a lot at the moment. I think this game so far could be improved by a bit more clear-cut chances. Not much even in this game at the moment. It's just a bit dull. I wish I could make it more riveting for you. Liverpool have conceded a throw-in, and they are going long Plymouth here. That could have potentially been a foul. It looks like he was dragged down there, that Plymouth player, Bundu, who is now getting back onto his feet. Maybe potentially looking for something that wasn't quite there. Hard to tell. Yeah, Liverpool dragging the ball about left and right. They know what they're doing. Gone long now by Liverpool, searching for the surging run by Chiesa, but it has gone out for a throw-in, which Chiesa will take quickly. The new boy on the pitch, Mabaya, has crossed it over to McConnell, who has just been someone who's just been content to have the ball at the moment. Chiesa's passed forward, but there was not much. It's gone out for a goal kick, which I think all Plymouth fans will be grateful for seeing, as we are swiftly approaching the half an hour mark. Nothing much happening in this one. Yeah. I think it's 9. Potentially, no, I think it was Mabaya who got conceded that goal kick. This will probably go long by Hazard, I imagine. Yeah, what a surprise. He's found his man finally, but he can't make the most of his first touch. And Plymouth play it all the way back to their goalkeeper, who's gone long again. This time can't even find his player. But Plymouth seem to potentially have come away with the ball here. Oh, that's unlucky. Out of nowhere there. I think it was potentially right to get a touch on that. I can't quite. Oh no, I think it was Hardy. Was getting a loose ball and was always an optimistic shot. I don't know if that's counting as a shot at the moment. But if it is, it's the most likely to have been a shot all game. If I just look at the stats at the moment, according to Google, there's been 1 shot for Liverpool, 2 for Plymouth, neither on target. The pass accuracy has been great for Liverpool at 82% at the moment. But yeah, relatively equal to each other at the moment. Plymouth are out wide with it at the moment with Wright. It's been a right hoo-ha between Wright and Chiesa, and it's gone out for a throw. I'm not sure who had the last touch on that. But it was an interesting one. There was... we're just seeing a replay of that shot I just told you about. It was never really hit with any conviction. And I don't think it was ever going to challenge the defender. Plymouth have got it and done a cheeky back heel there to Pukas. Pukas has gone in and almost found his man. It has just been headed down, and it is now cleared. Chiesa comes away with it. And he's just fallen over there for Guazelo. But yet again, we see another one of them crosses by Pukas, not managing to find his person and cleared. But he's a danger as well. The wingers Sorinola and Pukas can certainly provide a form of this game. Plymouth are passing it around in their centre circle with a bit more intensity than Liverpool. 1 touch, 2 touch football at the moment. Back to Hazard, safekeeping really. This may probably go long down the field, and it does. Trying to find a target man who gets the first header, and then it's getting the seconds here, and I think there's a potential for a penalty shout. There's a potential penalty shout. I think the referee's blown it away. I think it was a right tough one. It was probably a 50-50, and would have been a harsh penalty for Liverpool to concede. Liverpool are now at the other end of the pitch here. There's a lot of Plymouth players back. They're not really marking. There's more doing zonal marking, which is always danger. A shot from out wide and far away. Yeah, that was never going to get past the defence when they're back in full force. Defended well in numbers at the moment, Plymouth, and have looked slightly dangerous coming forward, although not yet challenged for goalkeeper Kelleher to make a save. If they get that contact that both Pukas and Sorinola in the last 15 minutes, it must be said, have made some good crosses. Liverpool are again coming forward, finding Chiesa just on the corner of the penalty box here. He's got 3 players around him. Crossing, sort of not properly dealt with, and then absolutely levered downfield by Hardy. And it's gone out for a throw. Yeah, not really challenging Plymouth at the moment too much. I think... Was that a penalty decision? I don't know. Simicast, I think, might be actually a bit lucky there. There was a right tussle, and maybe lucky there not to have conceded a penalty, because he has put his whole body in the way of a player. Very scrappy. And I have seen that being given as a penalty before. Approaching the final 10 minutes of this half here, if we plus adage, time for stoppage. Yeah, Liverpool need to do something better in these final 10 minutes if they want to take the lead, because I think Plymouth have overall been marginally the better side. Um, talking about that, Liverpool are coming into the midfield positions here, but they've had all the possession, but not really managed to get it into the final third to make it much count. So at the moment, over down the wings with Luis Diaz, who just gets tackled out of it, to be honest. And Plymouth just proving too much defensive work, doing quite well at the moment. And as I said before kickoff, Jota has hardly had any contact with the ball. And if they mark him out, it can be a very quiet team. First proper save of the game by Hazard, who's dived down to his left, managed to make the save. It was quite a slow shot, and it was one which you would semi-expect. But yeah, that does just prove at a risk that Liverpool can pose. It did take a deflection, to be fair, off the underside of Gaiabi. It was a shot by none other than McConnell, I think. So yeah, the corner is pretty much effectively dealt with as Liverpool progress back to their own half, and that waiver spell has been weathered. In the centre circle now, it's gone long, too long, and it's back in the hands of the goalkeeper. I'm not entirely sure who he was looking for with that pass there, Kwanzaa. Maybe a bit of youthful inexperience bleeding through. Hazard's pumped that downfield there. That is a hefty kick. Hasn't found his man. I think it is wise to do these long balls because it does relieve pressure. But at the same time, he's not really getting much luck with the passes he is trying to do. Yeah, Plymouth have again gone long. No one there, and it's going to be absolutely cleaned up by Quansah. He's doing great job receiving the ball, but not done much with it. Saying that, he's just come into Plymouth half, but he can only get it onto the right-hand side with a number 58. Well, it might be 53, actually, sorry. But no, Liverpool finding onto the penalty area here. Plymouth aren't dealing with this, and it has gone out. Again, good, solid defensive work there. I believe a player that was responsible for that was the Talovariv there, who's he's almost been lost Jota there, but he's put a crucial block in. Katic there, and Televarev has cleared. It's gone for a corner. Taken short. Returns for a corner taker and is headed out for another corner. Probably didn't need to do the theatrics to header it out there. But I say, if in doubt, whip it out. That might be in reference to something else, though. On the edge of the D, and he's tried a shot there, and that is not a good shot. It was an ambitious effort from Harvey Elliott. The referee is wearing a nice cyan kit there. You often see a referee in cyan, and I think it suits him quite well. Harvey Elliott's been a bit quiet, for my opinion. And you can tell in the chance he just sort of half snatched at it, and I don't think there was anything really on there. It probably would have been better to pass. Actually, Harvey Elliott is potentially the captain. I don't know if they've changed the captaincy since Diego Jota had it. There was a right tussle going on in the penalty area during that interchange on that corner between Diego Jota and Plugwazello. Could have been interesting. Yes, it's in the central and midfield right now. Not a lot going on. Yeah, I think that's for bored. They're looking a bit bored at themselves. We're into the final 5 minutes of a normal time here. Still 0-0. Anyone can grab this game by the scruff of the neck, make themselves an absolute hero. That is sliding in there by Plugwazello. He's done well. He's come out cleanly with the ball and taken it out for a throw in. Very good defensive tackle. Well, cleanly executed. And yet again, he's back there, conceded another throw in. He knows what a no-nonsense defender should be described as. I don't know entirely where he's from. I think he potentially is Ecuador. But, oh no, he's Spanish. Sorry. But Julio Plugwazello. Bit of an interesting ding-dong going on at the moment. The ball is just being sprayed about at the moment, and no one's really getting control of it. It's a bit scrappy at the final half. Trying to find Pushaz there, and he's managed to get his side a throw in, which has been treated by a round of applause by some of the fans. Yeah, this potentially could be a good position for a long throw. Plugwazello will take it. Not really many options I can see which are making themselves available. But he has gone for a long throw on the edge, and that is absolutely skied, unfortunately. Couldn't just get to his foot under it by Guy Harvey. But again, impressive move, because the first ball comes out and he's instantly on that and tried to get it first time. I think he probably had time to take a touch, controlled it a bit. He has just lashed at that. But if you can't criticise too much. If you're playing Liverpool, you're going to take your opportunity, aren't you, and try and claim the headlines the following day. So I'm not blaming him on that regard. Right, out wide, and I think that's gone out for a throw. That's time wasting, surely. Yeah, that's a booking for kicking the ball away there, Liverpool. That was just incredibly useless. There was no point. It had gone out, and there was no point in just kicking it away there. He's just lost control, and then he's just decided to tap it extra. That's for youthful inexperience and Mabaya, and that card will probably teach him a lesson. At this stage of the game, you don't need to do that, to be honest. You've not scored a goal or anything. A header up by Plymouth, and it's come out again to, there you go, couldn't quite find the header. Come out again with, it came out with Sorinola, but it was offside. Whoever was the person who was aiming of the target header. And there's not much in that, but Plugwazello does do a good job to try and find his man. He is looking entertaining at the moment. Yeah, Liverpool will probably be content to see out this half of a moment, because they're the ones actually having to weather the storm a bit. There's been a couple of really good attacks by Plymouth in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Nothing to challenge Kelleher with, admittedly, but certainly something for Plymouth fans. If they would just made a bit more of a solid connection, that would be an interesting one. Appreciate whoever's liked the video. I'm not sure who it is, but appreciate it. It does help out. Get this channel notified. Okay, in the midfield it is with Liverpool. It's gone back all the way to Kelleher. Not great at the moment. Yeah, bit of a scrappy game, still 0-0, as we're about to approach half-time. We're about to see a very interesting, there's a lot of green players going forward right now, applying the pressure. That does leave them a bit vulnerable to a counter-attack. Simicas is having a right tussle here comes away with it and does a cross-field pass to Mabaya, who replaced Joe Gomez on 10 minutes after the Liverpool defender and at that time captain went down with an injury. I'm not entirely sure what part it was. I think it might be in a heel. Obviously, has had a bit of a poor track record of injury, so you don't hope it's too bad. Unless you're a Plymouth fan, when you'll be absolutely great that he's no longer on the pitch. Chiesa has tried to prevent that from going out to a throw and instead conceded a goal kick. It's 3 minutes of added time on. It's not been much. I think that's probably just because of a Joe Gomez injury. Yeah, I can see what he's trying to do there. Chiesa, there's just nobody really. He's just not managed. He's just a bit too heavy of a touch, and there was a bit too much to do. But I don't blame him. I can see what he was trying to do. It's just not quite on. Pumped long downfield by Hazard as we're approaching the final final minute, I would imagine, of the stoppage time. Or final 2 minutes, rather. Yeah. Yeah. It's gone out for a throw, taken quickly by Luis Diaz. It's crossed the centre of the field. They do a lot of switching to play Liverpool, trying to drag Plymouth players out of position, but they seem to be doing well, remaining in shape. Headed away by Plymouth, or headed back by Liverpool in an area where you don't really want to give away, but Liverpool just seem content to see this game out. If this goes to extra time, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. I'll be doing something else this afternoon. I don't want to watch extra time of this boring game at the moment if it remains 0-0. I still maintain that the Liverpool will score a scrappy goal and it'll be 1-0. But yeah, a lot of defensive passes, and the pass accuracy may be high, but there's no point in having a pass accuracy if most of the passes are ones which aren't really challenging. They're not incisive passes. They're not key passes. Just ones that are just keeping it safe. That's why you shouldn't necessarily read too much into stats. We are approaching the last 40 seconds of this game, of this half rather, and for one, I am grateful for it to becoming halftime because it has been dull and boring. There's been a few glimmers from Plymouth at the moment, but ultimately not that much. Liverpool probably have time for the final attack in 15 seconds rather. Diaz has the ball right now, but he's decided to go backwards. And that's 5 seconds, and he's probably going to blow a whistle quite shortly. And that is the end of the half. Right. Yeah. Bit of a dull game. I think I'll start off by going through the sofa score ratings of the players so far. Yeah, it's been an interesting one. I think we can all fairly say that. Is it sofa score? I don't know if it is sofa score, which I'm actually going to be looking at, to be fair. I need to check. Because I could have been wrong about this one. By seeing Plymouth at the moment, they are a team that, yeah, they've done well this first half. They really have. In this fourth round of the FA Cup, be a huge upset if Plymouth win this one. That will be the headlines. That I can confirm. It's not been all Liverpool. They have had the most amount of momentum at the moment. But yeah, let's go through the players one by one in terms of how they have performed. Starting with Hazard, 6.6. Yeah, he's not had a lot to do, to be honest. So, yeah. 6.3 for Bundu, who I don't think he's had a lot going forward at the moment. I don't think he's managed to get into too many situations where he's managed to actually capitalise. We've got 6.5 for both Hardy and Puchaks. I think Puchaks has shown glimpses that he could potentially be have some dangerous balls, but he's just not managed to find anyone at the moment. Hardy, yeah, so same can be pretty much said. There was a couple of brief flashes, but not much. A 6 point, so we've had the 6.6 for Hazard, a 6.7 for Wright, and Randall, the captain. Again, both of these players, I'd say, have had. I've not really mentioned Randall at all, and I think that's what I think it's fair to say. I don't think either of these players have got much into the game at the moment. And then a 6.8 for Sorinola, who, as I said, I think he's done quite well. If he's managed to do the crosses a bit better to find his target, we could well be seeing Plymouth ahead. But he certainly had the work rate. And Televoryov, who has defensively done some fantastic tackles and blocks. A 6.9 for Gyabi, who I actually think has been probably the second best player for Plymouth. A lot has gone through that player at the moment, and the scene for people going alongside me. 7.0 for Katic. Has made some vital blocks, if that is fair to say. He is the reason it is 0-0 going into this half, along with 7.1 rated Plugwazello, who, I think at the moment, everything seems to be coming through him. He's going well in the attacks, and he's covering and tracking back his runners very, very effective. Has made that left side virtually his own. Looking at Liverpool, they have been the slightly worse of the two teams at the moment. Hence why they've had a bit of low ratings. The lowest one is a 6.3 for Diego Jota, who has not had much of a chance. He's not really gotten into the game, to be honest. They've not managed to find him. And that's probably why it is still 0-0, because if Liverpool get him on the ball, he can be a really good player. 6.4 for Chiesa. He's had a couple of decent opportunities, but he has just been sort of nullified and has gone missing for large parts of his game. He only sort of grew in the last 10 minutes, but he has been growing increasingly missing. Then there is a 6.6 for Nyoni and Harvey Elliott, both in midfield. Neither of which, I think they've switched to a 4-3-3 now as well. Neither of which of these two players particularly, I think, have done great. Nyoni with a bit of a reckless challenge, meaning him is on a yellow. You expect better from Harvey Elliott, who is a seasoned professional now. And a 6.6 for Kelleher. He's not had lots to do, so hard to really draw, hence why he's been given a bit of an average rating. 6.7 for McConnell. A youngster, not doing too much at the moment. Nullified a bit of a threat going forward on the left by Plugwazello, but then again, there's not much in it from that regard. A 6.8 for Joe Gomez, who only had 10 minutes. Can't really draw much on that, but during the brief time he was on the pitch, it was all right. A 6.9 for Kwanzaa, and Simicas. Both of them have done their defensive duties quite well, being strong and muscular in the ball. They're 6.9 as well for Diaz. He's looked a couple of times exciting going forward, but not much. And Endo on a 7.0, who has gone into midfield pretty much and just been interchanging with play. 6.7 for Mabaya as well. I don't think he's necessarily He's not. He's obviously not experienced. And if we look at Plymouth, just that whole sort of style of play is so much very direct. Um, it's the goalkeeper targeting it down to players like Bundu or whatever, who will then try and cause a challenge. But the defence for Liverpool has been more than apt for it. So yeah, the style of play from Plymouth is fairly obvious. Hoof it downfield and see if they can get a goal on the counter, I suppose. Whereas for Liverpool, I think it's a bit more control on the ball, trying to take their time, as you sort of expect from a bigger team. Yeah, I'm not really surprised about either of them. Sort of employing this. You look at, I think Plymouth's defending must be credited though. They have done some great job at defensive, and I mentioned, didn't I, when I was going through the players player by player, that the actual defensive ability that Plymouth have broadcasted in this game is something else. They've got blocks, they've had tackles, clearances, you name it. They have been some absolute standout defenders, and to be fair, that's hence why the Sofa Scores highest rating at the moment is going to Plague Zuelo, who at the moment probably might win the man of the match. He's done his duties going forwards, and he's done his duties defensively. And of course, first and foremost, he is a left back, so you would expect him to be solid in the defence. Although you can't ignore Katic and Televirov, who have both also done an excellent job. The goalkeeper hasn't really been challenged, and that's thanks to the three defenders in front of him. Well, they defended well as a team. When they've had needed to come back, the players who are in the midfield have dropped back. I think it's absolutely fascinating. I think, is there much more that I should speak about this game before I move on to the Derby County managerial talk? But I mean, I'm not too sure. I'll go quickly over the scores that have occurred today, actually. There was just the one game earlier in the FA Cup, which went 2-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's one later on today for Aston Villa versus Tottenham. And in the Championship, Swansea City beat Bristol City by 1-0 in a bit of a local rivalry. Can Liverpool make it to Wembley? Well, we'll see. We're moving on to talk about Derby County for about the remaining few minutes of this halftime break. I think it's about 5 minutes. Did Paul Warne deserve to be sacked? Well, if you followed my predictions, you would very much know that yes, I did think he deserved to be sacked. You can't lose 7 games on the spin. All of the games in 2025 and proceed to remain in the job, especially since we dropped into relegation zone. Good earned point yesterday. We are going to be looking, I think, at the betting odds. First and foremost, most people are saying at the moment that we are most likely to be in after former Derby player John Eustace, which, again, fairly fair assessment. Is that I think John Eustace has done a solid job with the both clubs he's managed in the Championship so far, Birmingham City and Blackburn. He left Burnley unfairly sacked by the board to be replaced by Wayne Rooney, left them fighting for playoffs. This season, he's fighting playoffs for Blackburn. Would be a huge upgrade, and I think he could probably steer us clear. Obviously, got that link with Derby, played for Derby for a couple of seasons. Yeah, I think for me, that is definitely a a manager which I would be happy with. I would very much like him to come to the club. On to a few of the other names that have been sort of thrown around at the moment. Got Lee Carsley is 2-1. I would like Lee Carsley to come. And he is a previous Derby player himself, Lee Carsley. I think it would be a good play. He's got a lot of experience bringing through youngsters, obviously working with England under 21s for years. He will have a lot of contacts for loanees to have in the summer, which would be quite exciting. Um, and also, we do really well as an academy. We have one of the best academies in the country. Just look at where our under 18s are in the Premier League North for their, respectively, I think they're top three, whatever. So it would be a very decent option. Whether he'd be willing to come to Derby, I think he turned down a Coventry job, and I think at the moment he does want to focus at coaching young players. But if he wants to actually go into management, he needs to do it when his stock is high, and that is at the moment right now. So, yeah, Richie Wellens is next on the list. It will be an interesting one. I actually have heard a lot of people saying that would be a step backwards. It'll be appointing a League One manager. Well, at the same time, I think it may be tempting. I think you look how good he's doing with Leighton Orient. If he can take that form into Derby, he'll do well. I mean, he did a really good result against Manchester City, and he did actually knock out Derby, which is one of the reasons in the FA Cup, one of the reasons why Derby got rid of Paul Warne in the first place. So yeah, he has averaged 1.62 per game points per game, which would be enough to stay up, I think, in my opinion. So they're the three main runners and riders, if you will, for the job. There is a few others which I will mention because I think they are worth mentioning. Ryan Lowe, currently without a job, done a great job with Plymouth, getting them promoted in the past, and Bury. So even if we get relegated, he will get us back up. And he's done an all right job with Preston. He got them mid-table. So he knows this division fairly well. I don't think Ryan Lowe would be a horrendous shout. Steve Cooper, I do not want to come to this club. I know he is a promotion specialist, but he's affiliated with both Nottingham Forest and Leicester City. And one of the few things that we have over Forest is the fact that they stole Brian Clough, and that we would never do the same to a Forest player. So yeah, I wouldn't want Steve Cooper. I think we can't afford his wages anyway. So that's pretty much beyond one possibility. Steven Gerrard, yeah, let's be brutally honest. That would be a very risky move to make, and I don't think it would be worth it. Rob Edwards, I could see being an interesting appointment. Obviously, left Luton in a bad position, but he did well with both Watford and Luton in getting them challenging towards the top end of the table. Sean Dyche is a Forest fan. I'm a huge fan of him as a manager, but will he want to manage his rival to his fan base team? I don't know, and whether he's probably holding out for a Premier League job, I think is more likely than he wants to go into a relegation scrap in the Championship. I have no idea what's going on the screen. There is some leprechaun-looking guy from Plymouth tackling people that is a concerning mascot. Gary O'Neill is on the list. I don't know whether he'll step down to Derby. Recently at Wolves. I doubt he'll get another Premier League job, but he could probably do a one at the top end of the table in the Championship. And Neil Harris did a very good job with Millwall. I think he'll be a good appointment. Just before we're about to kick off here, so yeah, I think that's rattled through my opinions on the Derby County managerial situation. We are now approaching the second half, which Liverpool will be kicking off with Harvey Elliott to kick us off, and he's gone straight to his goalkeeper. All right, we're just going to start the same as we left. There's not been any changes to the half-time 11, though. The only change so far is the one for Joe Gomez coming off. So your lineups is Hazard in goal, Televarev, Katic, Plugazeo in defence, Sorinola and Pukaz as wingers, and Randall and Gayobi in the centre. And then the two going forward is Hardy and Wright, with Bundu as a target man. It's been changed to a 4-3-3 for Liverpool with Kelleher in goal, Simicas, the replacement Mabaya for the injured Joe Gomez, and centre-back Quinza and McConnell. There's a midfield three of Nione, Endo and Elliott, and attacking threat, Luis Diaz and Chiesa on the wings, with Diego Jota as the attacker. Plymouth's goalkeeper launches this downfield, which, as we highlighted during the break, is the main threat which Plymouth are trying to utilise this game. It's been scrappy. It's been good defense. Well, it's not quite been scrappy. It's been good defensive work by Plymouth. There's just not been any much clear chances, to be honest. Number 11, right, for Plymouth is surrounded by 2 Liverpool players, but has managed to keep hold of possession and passed it. That is fantastic work from the Plymouth centre. Well, I think he's attacking midfielder. Oh, he's done well there. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalise on it. I think it is now back with the Liverpool team. But yeah, I think that was a solid piece of work by Wright. I think he was just waiting for the Liverpool players to kick it out of play from his touch, but that was never forthcoming. Kelleher launches this on downfield instead of playing it safe, trying to find Diego Jota, but Plymouth get there first, and they come away with it in the midfield. Good, nice passing work here. It's going forward now by Bundu, actually, was out one out wing. He's normally meant to be the target man, and he has come away with it, and it is now gone out for a throw-in for Plymouth. No, Liverpool, rather. What am I doing? Yeah. Gyabi doing an all right job at the moment, I think. Whether some changes happen this second half, I think there definitely will be for the Liverpool team. And I reckon some Plymouth players will probably start flouting a bit. Of course, on the bench, it is worth mentioning that Darwin Núñez is a potential option to come on for Liverpool. Not that Diego Jota is doing a bad job as he tries to close down for goalkeeper Hazard, but never really posing any trouble for him. Hazard's not had a great deal to do. Well, I don't think Darwin Núñez would actually necessarily cause too much to do either, considering he just hits the post more than he actually scores. Either way, it's pumped downfield, surprise, shock, horror, and out onto the wings. Plymouth are actually coming forward very heavily. They are in the penalty area, and it is headed behind by Wright. I think that's the best shot that we've had of the game, to be honest. It's well gone forward, a solid cross here. Actually, I think it was headed behind by the defender, Kwanzaa, potentially. Or maybe it was Endo, but couldn't quite find his target. So it is going to be a corner. I think it's going to be an in-swinger here, taken by Telerov. Couldn't find his first man, to be honest, and it's just gone out. Well, it's not gone out, actually. It's been kicked back forward, but let's be honest, that's a waste of a corner. That was a really good opportunity. I think it was actually Randall who was taking it. That was a pretty poor corner from a captain. Should be doing better than that. Yeah, Wright has really grown into this second half already. When we're about 5 minutes in, he has looked the bright spark of this half so far, adding 2 nice forward progressive plays. One that he's tried to have a really good cross. If he could have found a man, it would have potentially been a goal there. The other one was a good retention of possession in the final third. Just no one could really help him out. Liverpool was going back to playing it a bit tippy-tappy around the defensive quarter. So yeah, not much in it. Yeah, Liverpool working their way, I think, into this second half. Whether Slot chooses to shake something up, I think it's certainly an argument for it. That has gone out for a throw-in for Plymouth. I think Inlas came off Mabaya, who I think has definitely not looked as good as Joe Gomez. You can tell that he is a bit of a youngster. The juvenile experience is shining through. To be fair, straight on the ball is This Is Anfield, saying who he is. He's yet to make a senior appearance, though, by the national, not national, the Liverpool team. So he's had a bit of a bad injury himself, hence why he's had a bit of a delayed start to life. Plymouth are actually on loan in the penalty area, and we've taken out for a throw. That was probably the best move at that present time by the Sorinola. Sorinola will be also the person who's taking this throw in with this orange ball. He's cleaning the ball, so he's clearly going for a long one. There is some good height in there as well. Can't be offside directly from throwing, remember. He's tried to be a bit clever there, the person who was Plymouth. That's a penalty. That's a handball. Harvey Elliott has conceded a handball in the penalty area. This may turn this game on its head. Obviously, there is no VAR at this stage. I don't know. He's gone up there, and that's a handball. That's a penalty. That's an unnatural position for Harvey Elliott's hands to be in. He's gone straight up like that. That's a penalty. Harvey Elliott should really know better. There is no doubt about it. For me, that is a penalty. Stonewall. Plymouth with a chance to go ahead in this tie. This is one for the headlines. This is one which could potentially burst Liverpool bubble this season. Going out this early round in the FA Cup to a championship team who is currently sitting bottom of the championship. This is a moment that players have dreamed of. And he scored. He has scored. The number 9, Hardy, for Plymouth, has taken the home side ahead. There is absolute limbs at home park. Every single Plymouth fan in that dappled golden sunlight of the West Country is absolutely going wild. All of the absolute scenes going on there. This is what the FA Cup is all about. Plymouth have taken themselves ahead by... it's not a dubious penalty, but it was because of their own pressure by getting a corner that they've managed to do this, and they deserve to be ahead in this game. I think there's certainly been a better team this half. Hardy has cemented himself as a legend for that penalty, even though I don't necessarily think he's done too much this game. They have broken the deadlock. It is 1-0 to Plymouth Argyle, and this means everything to Plymouth. Liverpool are against it. In the 53rd minute, we are back kicking off. Liverpool have to up the tempo a bit now. You can already tell that their passes have become a bit more stretched, a bit more fast. But that just plays, I think, into Plymouth's hands, as they've already gone down long field. And you can tell all the mojo is currently with Plymouth as they're coming forward again, and they've got themselves a throw in after Hardy is dispossessed. What an absolute result this would be for Plymouth. You can see that it's just great fan base there, absolutely packing it out. They always are great at home, Plymouth. I've said it every single prediction video. You can never rule out them at home not being a great team. You just look, they're all bouncing and all chanting. They're doing an absolutely great job at Plymouth. I don't have any sound, so I don't know what they are chanting. Simicast is taking a throw in here, struggling for options, to be honest. So he's going and launching it downfield. He's managed to find his man, but the second ball is collected by Plymouth. It's gone into a bit of an aerial ping pong. It's come away here with, I think that is going to be, I think it's Zhao. As in, no, Diego Jota, or Zhao. Diego Jota, but it wasn't, it was actually Luis Diaz. And that is dragged just wide by Chiesa, looking to try and level up his team almost instantly. Had a frustrating game so far, Chiesa. He's picked up the ball on the edge of the area and he's just dragged out wide. He's just, you can tell he's been frustrated by that injury and he's just clasping at chances at this point. And I think it's a bit sloppy. I think there was better moves to make. Darwin Núñez is warming up. Potentially, they're going to take Chiesa off and put Diego Jota on the wing. There is a Plymouth player down injured at the moment. I think potentially with cramp. Something on the quadriceps. Yeah. I think it's only cramp, but obviously if you've gone down off the ball, not an ideal situation to be in. I think Katic is over it. I can't make out whether that's Televinov or Plugazello at the moment. Lots of tactics being discussed at the moment amongst the Liverpool players. I think there might be a change with Darwin Núñez coming on, I imagine. To try and push for the game here. I think you've got to admit at the moment, Diego Jota would certainly be somebody who you would be tempted to be taking off. Yeah, it is the number 5, Pogazzolo, at the moment, who is coming off. I think it's all right. I think he's just a bit of cramp, to be honest. Yeah, I'd probably take off Diego Jota, to be honest. I've not been entirely impressed. Diego Jota and Chiesa will probably come off. I think Bundu potentially could come off for Plymouth if they have a striker available to them at the moment. Is Obafemi a striker? I'm trying to remember. Obafemi could definitely be somebody who would suit this target play. The big centre forward. Mabaya is coming off. So absolutely fascinating, that one, for Darwin Núñez. Mabaya couldn't actually, even though he was brought on in the 10 minutes, couldn't actually last beyond the hour mark. I think that just sums up his display at the moment. Ooh. I would not happy to be Mabaya at the moment. So what system are they actually going to be going for in this situation? Because Mabaya was due to replace Joe Gomez. So they're going for a flat back 3, or are they moving Endo back and going for orthodox sort of a sort of 4-3-3 with Diego Jota dropping out to wings and then moving back. Who would they move back? Chiesa potentially? Because Harvey Elliott, I would assume, would go into the centre. So if they move Chiesa into right mid, Endo into defence, Elliott into the centre, Diego Jota out onto the wing. I think that potentially is it. I think there's certainly a tactical switch gone on here. That's interesting. We'll see, I suppose. At the moment we're in defence, so can't really tell. It's looking like it still is a 4-3-3. It could also be 3 in the back. They're content at the moment, just keep possession. I think it might be 3-4-3, potentially. It will be very interesting to see how this tactical change, does it benefit or does it actually improve Liverpool? So it's gone back to a bit of a slower, more lethargic, keeping the possession in the back again. They need to push for this game. They're 1-0 behind. You can't be slopping and playing around in the back, especially seeing Plymouth will not give up. That is a fact. We're on the hour mark, so it's not a surprise that there has been a substitution. Slot demanding a reaction from his team. Thing is, most of his bench now, other than Curtis Jones, are all academy players. You've not got much to push for the second goal of this game and equalising it. So there's no Salah, no Trent. fair few others as well. I think we're missing from this actually squad. Plymouth have got a free kick on the centre line, and they've just pumped that downfield. Really good, actually. This could be a second for Plymouth. They have just hit the post, I believe, there. Oh, they're claiming it's a corner. They're claiming Keller has saved it. Hardy almost with a second. Really well worked free kick. Well headed on by the Katic, but I think it might just be offside, to be honest. Yeah, Katic has gone in, and Hardy, I think, has just hit the post, to be honest. I think he's claiming a deflection off a defender. And he has got that wish. It has gone for a corner. I think it might have just been, yeah. But again, potentially just offside as well. Yeah, this could be. Last time it was a corner, they managed to get a penalty from it. Let's see what they can do this time. Shekzazo puts it in to the mixer. Comes out to number 11, who takes it first time and into Rosed. Right. Well done, right. Absolutely spanned that. It would have been better if he controlled that, brought it in and distributed play, but his eyes lit up and he's absolutely smashed that. It must be said that I think that's a save by Kelleher at the initial time from right, but I think it's worth the effort. That certainly was not a bad shot. Simicast with a throw-in. He's taken quickly. He's getting frustrated. He could well get booked this game. You can see he's getting frustrated. The longer this game goes on at 1-0, the more likely Plymouth are to win it. And it's been headed away by Plymouth. Solid defensive shift by the guys at the back for Plymouth, it must be said. They have hardly even let their goalkeeper make a save. I think there's been like one save by him all game. It's gone straight through and to the defenders of Plymouth, who lump it downfield. Is there pace in this? And it's been headed into the hands of Kelleher by Endo, I believe. It is certainly was risky. There was a surging forward Bundu, I think, who was potentially chasing that down. You've got Luis Diaz going inside at the moment, and he's whipped that out. I think that's for Chiesa, but he's missed Chiesa completely for a throw-in. Yeah, Chiesa's not really getting into this game. I think Slot is wanting his team to push up a bit and be a bit more attacking in the intent. And I don't blame him, to be honest. They've been a bit too defensive this game. It's gone out for a throw-in for Liverpool. It's gone off right in the end. He seems to be conceding set plays all over the place. On to Luis Diaz, who seems to want to be a bit of a playmaker now. A switch of play. You can't get past this rigid, it's almost 4-4-2 at times, Plymouth Argyle side. With Wright and Hardy actually overtaking Bundu, and Bundu dropping down a bit deeper from his poacher role. Yeah, I think good defensive play, kicking that out. There, I think that is potential. I think that's Plugzuelo. A player is sat down on the floor at the moment. I think it's the same player who had cramp earlier, actually. Clearly a niggling struggle. It was actually Puchaks, who cleared that. Yeah. Again, Katic is standing over it. I think it might be Plugzuelo, who has been really impressive this game, if that is the case. He has worked his socks off at this moment in time. Obviously, Plugzuelo is one of them people who came in during the transfer window. So, yeah, it's one of them ones which is, I don't know if they're fully fully up there. I mean, we are only... Oh, no, he didn't, sorry. I'm thinking of Puchas. I keep confusing me too. It is interesting. I think it's only the penalty at the moment, which is separating these two teams. He's got onto his feet, the player had cramp, but he looks like he's going to come off for a substitution, actually. Is his day over? Yeah. So Pluguzzello has come off. Emilio Pluguzzello, solid player, potentially man of the match in the moment, but Katic as well has performed exceptionally well. Powson has come on in his place, Victor Powson. Momentum, all this half has been with Plymouth. To be honest, you can see why they're going for. I think Hardy is at the moment suddenly leapt forward in terms of how people are rating him, because he's the one who broke the equalising. He's at the moment of a winning goal, but it was a penalty, and he has leapt into life this second half. I will give him that, but yeah, I reckon a bit. I think it's not likely to go man of the match to him. It's got to go for one of the defenders of Plymouth for me. Has gone behind. I think that's a throw in. Simicas trying to get across, and it's just gone too deep and high. Slot looking quite concerned. This would be a notable upset. There hasn't been many upsets this FA Cup. Chelsea got knocked out yesterday versus Brighton. I was watching that game. Brighton were by far the better team. So yeah, really, Man City may well be able to capitalise on this and get themselves an FA Cup this season. We're talking a bit too far ahead at the moment, but I think we can all agree in the lovely golden sunshine which is spraying over Home Park that Plymouth is looking like the side which could win this one. It's going to be a long throw-in again by Plymouth. It's a bit of Route 1 tactics, but you know what? It seems to have been working for them at the moment. Just for one change for Plymouth as well, and that's sort of due to Pluguzzello having worked his socks off, getting a bit of cramp, and Victor Powson coming on instead in his place for number 44. Launched that in, and to be fair, I believe that's Bundu. He has been dispossessed. He's had 3 players all around him, and he's had a nasty collision there. Both teams, I think, went for it. Bundu, I think, has come off slightly worse out of the entanglement with a player I've not really mentioned this half, and Nyoni. Someone is being booked, and I think it's probably Bundu. I think Bundu was the person who went into a tackle. But he just came out a bit worse for wear. See, that's a yellow card for Bundu. It was a bit of a right tussle, to be honest. And to be fair, if there was a bit more than the other way, we could see Nyoni getting a second yellow. So he needs to be careful because he is actually on a yellow card at the moment. That's the only involvement I've really mentioned of him. Both of these halves not being impressed for me. Good solid sliding tackle there by Maki Taliovirov with his great haircut. He's done a solid job. He's probably not been the most highly rated of the defenders, but for me, he's done an absolutely solid today. 20 minutes left on the clock. 1-0 to Plymouth. It will be fascinating to see how this game ends. Plymouth come away with it, and I think that is the Naori has managed to get it into Endo, and it's back in with Gaiati. Not Gaiati, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, Plymouth do come away with it this time. This time with Gaiati. They're pushing forward together as a team. They're doing quite well here on the wings. They're doing really good wing play. Level with the penalty area. There's just no one there for the cross. They didn't manage to hit the person who was the intended target, which I believe is right. It was one they were looking for. But alas, Liverpool come away with it. Luis Diaz has been very quiet this game, and he has just been fouled. He's been man-marked out this game. It's a double substitution for Plymouth before this free kick is taken. Two youngster-looking people are coming on. Bundu is coming off after having just received that yellow card, being a bit quiet. Yeah, I would have taken Bundu off as well. I think that is fair. He's being replaced by the number 26, Mohamed Tijani. The other person who is coming off is getting a standing ovation by the crowd, and that is Randall, the captain. And Randall is being replaced by Malachi Boateng. So I'm not sure if that's a like-for-like substitution, and I'm not sure entirely who's becoming captain. But we will figure that out in due time, and I will let you know as soon as I find out. Yeah, both of these players, I think, are worthy of coming off. 5 subs allowed in the FA Cup in this round. So, yeah. Solid defensive work from Plymouth throughout. They were almost split open there. They've done a great sliding tackle, timed to perfection in the penalty area. If that was slid wrong, then that could have been another penalty that we would have seen today. But that was fantastic defensive work. Clean as you like. Yeah, I must say, absolutely fantastic work by the number 29, I believe it is, who is Sorinola. Liverpool are pushing now. They are beginning to work their way a bit into it. Since then, since the time I last time talked about the spell, it has all really been Liverpool. But yeah, I think it could be an absolutely fascinating. We're about to approach the final 15 minutes in about a minute's time, so it's not really. Maybe a bit cagey for Liverpool in these last 15 minutes, because the more they throw people forward, the more they'll be exposed at the back and potentially caught on the counter by the impressive Plymouth well-organised team. Simicas on the edge of the area decides to go infield too, and it's gone across and they're in the penalty area now, but Plymouth yet again getting out for a throw-in. Time after time, they're restricting, they're not even letting them get a shot, which is the most important thing. And that is behind for a corner. A brilliant defensive clearance there. Absolutely fabulous clearance. I believe that was from Katic. He just put his body on the line there. Yeah, with an outstretched leg, he's just cleared that. No danger whatsoever. That sort of no-nonsense defending is one of the reasons why Katic is potentially up there for the man of the match at the moment. Whole heap of players in the penalty area, all gone for the ball there, and it's come away with Chiesa on his wrong side, and he's passed it on to Luis Diaz. It's looped over and in. I'd be surprised if that's still on the side, but Plymouth, yeah, that's a foul to the Plymouth defender by Luis Diaz, who's just gone into the back of Talavirov. Backs against the wall stuff for Plymouth, but they've managed to do it most of the game, and it is actually Katic who is the captain. And there is a new player coming on for Liverpool. Youngster for youngster at this point, I must say. Trey Noyoni, who, yeah, probably wise. He may well have got a red card if he continued to be a bit out of the game for most of it. For Trent Kone-Doherty. Not Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it will be interesting to see what he does, which I believe is his debut at the moment. Long down the pitch by the goalkeeper for Plymouth. Yeah, 18 years old. as Cone Doherty, and this is his debut. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs. Ooh. Liverpool charging forward and a bit of last-ditch defending by Plymouth, who was left a bit vulnerable there, but it is a very good job. Taken quickly the throw-in by Liverpool. They are committing the men forward in numbers now. Plymouth, again, come away with it. It's that same player, Sorinola, who's gone downfield. They've now only really got that hit and hope for the replacement of Bundu, who is Boateng, I believe. Yeah, there's the lights beginning to fade. I'm not quite sure whether to turn the lights on yet. But yeah, this is what Plymouth fans dream of, isn't it? If you're a Plymouth fan, you dream of a cup tie and knocking out one of the favourites of the competition, Liverpool. And they're doing such a good job defensively at the moment. To a man, they have been great defensively. Attacking wise, less so. It was a penalty, but they're coming forwards in numbers now. There's at least 3 in the penalty area, and none of them have actually got it, and it's just gone out. Couldn't quite direct it into the path there. But Argyle fans chanting throughout. They never give up, and they've got this firm belief that Plymouth are going to get themselves into the 5th round, where a very lucrative tie could be occurring. We've got a corner by Puchas. We know that they can be a threat from corners. We've seen it already, that there was a penalty earlier on in the game, which was rewarded because of their hard work in the corners. Whipped in, but it's headed away, and they've got to be careful they're not countered here, Plymouth, but they've seemed to have done a solid job to be able to provide them time to get back in numbers. And Liverpool dinking it forward. A good last-ditch tackle there by Sorinola. He will take a booking for it, Sorinola, but he's taken one for the team there, stopping Harvey Elliott from progressing. He's taken one for the team there. He really has, because they were going to be cut open there. And he has done a fantastic job defensively. Harvey Elliott would get there, and he's just outstretched his body, preventing him from making a progressing run forward. So Sorinola's taken one for the team. I don't mind that. Lots of people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing fouls in the first place." But tackles like that, I understand completely why you would do that. Oh, it is a dangerous free kick. Tsimikas is taking it. I doubt he'll shoot. He'll probably try and go in for the whipping it in. There's a whole line of Plymouth defenders here. This will be interesting. Where's he going to put this? I think it's going to be in swinger. And it's gone straight into the keeper's arms. Yeah. Couldn't quite manage to get it directed to where he wanted it to be. Safe hands by Hazard, as he has been all day, to be fair. And he's just cleared that long down the pitch. Just get that hoofed away. And he's got a bit of target to him, to be fair. And Plymouth have got it. I think that is offside, unfortunately. But yeah. Not bad by Plymouth at all at the moment, who are under sustained attack for at least the last 15 minutes, I would say. Yet again, we're seeing Liverpool coming forward here, having to be cleared. Bit of a slice clearance out for a throw-in. If they can manage this within the last 10 minutes, they've got to thank that Sorinola and the back three for really bailing them out. Potentially another substitution here for Plymouth, I think. Another standing ovation for the lad who's coming off, who I think might be... Is it an attacking sub or is it a defensive one? I'm not quite sure who's coming off, to be honest. Ryan Hardy is coming off here. to be replaced by Michael Obafemi, the big lad. He's got physicality about him. He certainly does. He might switch up to being the man at the front, actually. He might do a tactical switch in personnel there as well. It'll be fascinating if Obafemi gets a role here. He was with Swansea for a bit. I seem to recall quite a decent player. But yeah, flying header. It's not really dealt with. Chiesa's gone in, but it's gone behind for a corner. Great job by Katic. Not put a foot wrong today. Completely nullified both of Diego Jota and now nullifying Darwin Núñez. He's doing a great job captaining them as well at the moment. I know he's a substitute captain, but he is marshalling that box incredibly well. Such a change which has taken place at Plymouth over the last few weeks since they've brought in Milic and having got rid of Rooney. That is toe poked behind of an outstretching, I believe it is an outstretching Luis Diaz, who just couldn't get his shot on target, to be honest. So yeah, Chiesa's whipped that in nice and deep, and I think it's Diaz who's just unfortunately. Oh no! Oh yes, I think no, it's not Diaz. Diaz is the one covering. It is actually the 78, number 78. Who's the 78? Oh yeah, Kwanzaa. Okay, bit of a ridiculous move. Overhead-ish kick for Plymouth there, and Obafemi getting right in the mix there. Both Obafemi and I think Malachi, I can't remember what his surname is, the other guy who's come on, both being threats. Malachi Boateng, both being threats at the front at the moment. Well, there's a bit of pace here, and Plymouth find themselves in a great position. If he can hold up the ball at the moment, it's whipped out wide. Plymouth are coming forward in numbers. The cross comes in. Can't quite get to his man. Come back to Plymouth. Again, headed out and kicked on field. The defensive duty, and Plymouth whip it back, and that will go to Kelleher. But that's just proving that if they come in numbers, they can apply pressure on Plymouth, and they can apply pressure, Plymouth, and that would put Liverpool under some sustained attack. That's the end of a pitch you want to be on. That's a bit weak bomb the defender. Has gone straight for the crease of goal, and nobody's there to claim it. Out for a throw-in for Plymouth. They live to see another day, because that's a poor cross by Diego Jota. He's normally one on the end of them crosses, but well, should be the one. I think they put Darwin Núñez in the centre, to be fair. I think they've moved Diego Jota out for wings. Struggled to get into the game, Diego Jota, today. Plymouth again coming forward, and he's just been blocked off the ball. That player is progressing forward. Obafemi, and he is making a deal to the referee about it, saying, look, I was blocked. It's crossed the back for Liverpool at the moment. Not looking too shabby defensively, but attacking wise. And they are coming forward here, and they've just missed Darwin Núñez. Well, you'd always back Darwin Núñez to miss, wouldn't you? Yeah, that is proving that they are a threat going forward, because they have managed to get a shot off there, but it is substantially wide by Darwin Núñez. He's claiming it's come off the knee of an outstretched player. I'm not sure. It's very marginal. I'm not sure entirely. We are into the final 5 minutes of ordinary time. There's not been too many injuries in the second half, maybe a couple of minutes or so. And Plymouth fans are starting to believe that it could be an upset, that they could see themselves in the hat for the next round. Hooked downfield again by Plymouth, and Endo just headers it back to Kelleher. Perfectly reasonable and under control by Endo there. Who I don't think has actually really put a foot wrong today. Tsimikas pacing forward, passing it on to Chiesa. Chiesa's passing it back to Tsimikas. Tsimikas is trying to get past Sorinola, and doesn't quite manage to get past the covering defender, Talavariov. Oh, unfortunately, Sorinola has gone down with cramp here. He has been a bright spark so far, and that's probably why he hasn't quite managed to dispossess the Liverpool onrushing Tsimikas. But it was quite ironic because Talavariov has celebrated that defender, and then he just turned around and he seen Sorinola on the floor with cramp. It's not what you want to see. It looks like quite a painful cramp as well. It's gone out for a corner. Plymouth fans are very nervous at the moment, but they've been very solid defensively today. Just been a bit of communication to stop the argy-bargy at the moment amongst the two. I think it's the moment it seems to be the two offenders are Quanash and the new boy who has come on for Mohamed Tawani, who I've not really mentioned the name of actually yet. Whipped in by Tsimikas, headed up. Chiesa's got it. Chiesa's passing across. So it's been whipped back in, headed out first time. Back to Chiesa, who goes all the way back to the centre-back, Endo. Endo's going to launch this forward, looking for some player in white. I think that's Darwin Núñez. I can't quite tell from this angle. But it's gone into the penalty area. Headed up. Cleared to the halfway line effectively. Headed forward by Endo. Headed back out again by Plymouth. It's proper defensive stuff here. Running on constantly the endeavour at the moment from this number 26 for Plymouth must be commended. Tawani. Slowing down the clock, I would be doing right now. Doing a defensive all. I think Plymouth have rode every storm and every single thing that Liverpool have so far thrown at them with absolute quality in the defensive three. And then the occasional covering of the midfielders. But doing so again, going out for a throw-in a dangerous position in line with the edge of the penalty area. He's taken short. It's whipped in, a nice floater, but it's not really to anyone. And Plymouth just hook it downfield. And that's gone all the way to Kelleher, who's come out of his box to collect it. That's what you need to do. Just make sure that it ends up staying that end of the pitch. Pumped back down. Headed clear. That's not convincing that. And it's just gone wide. Katic is having a bit of an argument with the goalkeeper about mentality, because I think the goalkeeper came out there and could have been a bit exposed because he was caught off his line substantially. They need to communicate more effectively, because Katic and the goalkeeper miscommunication there. That could have been vitally wrong. But thankfully for them, they've, I think it was either a substantial miss from McConnell, who hasn't really gotten into the game, to be honest, or to be fair, I'm absolutely loving seeing just Talavariov, who is absolutely just loving every single defensive work. He is loving the fact he's a defender. We are 30 seconds from extra time here. Hazard, so it was a miss, which goes for McConnell, and Hazard is going to take this goal kick, I imagine, as long down the field as possible, and will take as long as possible to take it. He has pumped that downfield, found Obafemi, hooked back. Now, they've not managed to make most of that, so there's a balloon coming onto the pitch by the looks of it. Conor Hazard's got a yellow card for wasting time. That's the only thing I can assume at the moment. Luis Diaz coming forward, trying to find himself through space. He's crossed it straight across. This is potential danger time. Headed away. 9 minutes of added time. I'm not sure where that's entirely come from. But we've got 9 minutes of this game left. Oh, I think that's a bit of an excessive amount of time. Chiesa's got the ball at the moment. Can't quite get into the penalty area. I think it's come to Tsimikas. That is a foul. A bit too much show. A bit of too much exuberance. Actually, no, it's offside. Sorry. I thought it was a bit too much exuberance, but no, it was an offside, I think, when Chiesa passed to Tsimikas. All the Plymouth fans at the moment have got their hands covering over their mouths. All they're dancing. It's one of which. So it's quite nervous for their final 8 minutes. Pumped long again by Hazard, as you would expect. It's come out to a Plymouth player, the number 14, who is the person off the bench, Michael Obafemi. It's going forward a moment. But I must say, Sorinola's done a great job, and has just been dispossessed, but he's nowhere near his own half. So it's not a bad place to be dispossessed in the corner flag of the opposition's corner. Running forward is Liverpool from defence. But they've not managed to get it to a person in a white shirt. And yet again, Plymouth are going to be coming forward. Do we have another goal for Plymouth in this one? Never say never. Wright has got it. And it's headed down. There was just no power on the header at all by Sorinola. But you can see what he was trying to do. He just didn't have any power on the header. And it was just a bit too easy for Kelleher. Kelleher collects. I mean, I'm just taking a look at that replay for the Sorinola header. And I actually think it's a perfectly decent block in the end. I may have been mistaken, actually. I think that was a fantastic block by Kwanzaa. And that's a great save. That may have been the save to have kept them in this tie. Hazard has just whipped off the greatest save that has been in this game. And that is vital. Plymouth struggled to deal with the in-swinger. It's come out and it's a half-hashed shot on the volley. But he's just managed to get two hands to this. Tsimikas is going to whip this in. Goes deep. Chiesa's coming. Chiesa might go for a shot here. He's gone for a dummy. He's gone for a dummy again. He's not managed to come away with that. Thankfully, Luis Diaz was nearby to support. Tsimikas. A bit of an awkward shot to have been even taken there by Trent Kone Doherty, but he's attempted it nonetheless. I suppose that's what youthful exuberance is doing with him making his debut. I mean, just looking at that save, what a save Hazard has made. He has well and truly kept Plymouth into this game. When he has needed to make a save, he has made one so far. And Powson absolutely high fives the goalkeeper. Again, gone long by Hazard. What do you expect? And it's gone completely all the way to Kelleher. But you don't mind that. Nervous faces on the benches of the Plymouth side. Slight switch by Wright there, but not much enough to get a free kick. We are approaching the final 4.5 minutes here. This is tense. Tsimikas finding Chiesa, who has certainly had a bit more of his ball in this second half. Can't find anybody in white. Should have probably shanked his foot for a bit more for that for Plymouth, because it's only found O'Connell. Yeah, just a bit more passing around the back here at the moment. Not much going on. And they're pushing forward again, Liverpool. What would you expect? Headed clear. Found Chiesa for some reason, who's been unmarked. Diving header for a throw-in. Great work by Katic. I must say, the work between Katic, Talarov today have both been excellent. And we mustn't forget Progazzolo, who has gone off with cramp. Did also an excellent job when he was on the pitch. And it's cleared by Wright, but not only half cleared. It comes back again. Tsimikas. Simicast gone in for Diaz. Bit of a physical challenge. Returned. He's gone absolutely lunging in there. Whoever that player is. I think that was McConnell. It was a clean lunge and it was a very good ball in the end. I think that's gone behind for a goal kick, though. And we're in for the final 3 minutes. If they can weather this, this will be heritage. Very interesting. Plymouth fans are smiling. Do they dare believe? I think they do. Look at them. Every single fan in that position there has got belief on their face at the moment. They are singing and chanting along. They know that they are about to make history. Pump downfield. They're doing well under possession. And that's just going to kill some time, just passing that down there. Kelleher is going to need to pump this forward. There's not long left now. There's only just over 2 minutes left. Pumped down by Kelleher. You can only find a green shirt. It's become very, very much just who can kick it the furthest at the moment. Again, lumped downfield by Plymouth for absolutely no one, and Kelleher has to go all the way out wide to collect that. This cautious play in the first half by Liverpool really didn't play off. And Kelleher has gone long, searching for a white shirt. That's Nunes has got there. It's headed away. Headed down into the target man. There's a certain combination between Obafemi and Boateng, which is certainly a delight to watch. And that is a yellow card for Maxim Talasovarov. No idea how you pronounce that. But he's clattered in there. And to be fair, there's a follow-up clattering in by Sorinola, but he did manage to get the ball. You know what? You take the yellow cards in these games because there's only 1 minute left. If they ride out this free kick, which bases on the defensive capabilities at the moment, it is quite far out. And Kelleher has come up for this. He has come up. If Kelleher scores this will be break all Plymouth hearts. But if Plymouth manage to get this, you take a shot. Because Kelleher's going to have to go back to his own goal. Whipped forward. Headed away. Headed back in play. Oh, great save! Tipped over the crossbar! It's tipped over the crossbar by Hazard. That is absolutely great. It was a great free kick. And a diving header and another header. I can't quite tell who it is. But the pressure's not over. It is a corner kick. I think it might have been Endo who got the final one, but I'm not quite sure. Headed straight into the arms of Hazard, and he will hold down on this for as long as he can. And there's a smile on Milic's face because they know that they're about to win this. Milic says go long. He's going to whack this downfield. And that is time. Plymouth have won it. Plymouth have knocked out Liverpool out of the FA Cup. Jonathan, you are correct. It is getting dark. I probably should have turned some lights on. But Plymouth have won it. A penalty scored by, I believe it was Wright. Oh, no, it was Hardy, sorry. Due to unfortunate handball, which was a very blatant handball, you can't question it, by Harvey Elliott. And it means so much to the Plymouth fans. It ends 1-0 in this FA Cup tie. We're going to just briefly, they had to ride their wave in that second half, where they had to come under sustained 20 minutes of pressure, really. If you just look at the stats, if we're being honest, first of all, 10 shots to Plymouth, 14 shots to Liverpool. That's 2 shots on target for Plymouth, 4 shots for Liverpool. It's very much, it means so much. All the fans are bouncing around. They are celebrating like mad, as they should. 75% possession for Liverpool. They just couldn't convert any of it. That pass accuracy of 83%, well, that's a misleading statistic because that statistic is only relevant if you use the passes to their usefulness. Fair few fouls and yellow cards, but you expect that. There's a few offside calls as well during this game. Nothing incredibly dubious, but I think the Plymouth players will be absolutely over the moon with that. Plymouth got a 6.97 overall, Liverpool 6.77. I don't think they've been an absolute disgrace. They've just can't compare to the defensive heavyweights of Plymouth. I'm going to rattle through the sofa scores of all the individual players now that it is finished. 1-0 here at Home Park. The player of the match is Nikola Katic, according to SofaScore, which, let's be realistic, if it wasn't for him, I mean, they may not have won that tie. Well, 7.5 for Hazard. He come out with some absolute key saves at the end there. 2 absolutely great saves. The 2-handed, one put it behind, and then one tipped over the crossbar. This was certainly enough, but warranted him to stay in it. And he wasted his time when he needed to. So he's done a great job there. Pie Voice will be over the moon. Prozello, 7.1. He did well until he came off with cramp. Let's not forget how good of a job he did. As the Plymouth players are celebrating with the fans. That is what you love to see. Katic got a 7.8 overall, did incredible job during today. Every single defensive thing, he would be blocking, tackling, clearing. That's the sort of defensive play that I love to see. 7.3 for Talavarev as well. He did a decent job. Puchaz on a 6.7. He is the second worst player who played during that match, I believe, for Plymouth. Apart from the bench people who came off the benches, but that's a bit unfair. I think Puchaz was just a bit wayward with his passing today in the crosses. Gayabi made things tick in the first half. He's got a 7.2. He did a great job at times. Randall on a 7.0. He was captain. I don't think he did. He did a couple of good things, but not much. He's actually celebrating, I believe, with his son right now. 6.8 for Sorinola. I mean, his son won't know for now, but in the future, he will hear about his dad being a legend who won this game. Sorinola on a 6.8. I actually think he should have probably deserved better than that. I thought it was a decent one overall. Wright on a 7.2. I think they're switching it halfway around now. Katic's gone to 7.9, and Hazard gone to a 7.7, and Taylor to a 7.4. Okay. Right on a 7.2. He had some good set piece deliveries, but overall, I don't think he was one of the standout ones for me. 7.4 for Hardy. Obviously, he scored the penalty, and he did in the second half certainly prove much better than when he was in the first. 6.3 for Bondo. Yeah, he was the real weak link to the Plymouth team, I must say. The players who came on, Victor Paulson, 6.6. Did a good job in defence. Not as great as the other defenders. 6.5 for Boateng. Again, had a good link up a couple of times, but it was at that time that he came on that Plymouth were just content to see the game out. 6.7 for Tajani. Didn't see him do much. 6.4 for Obafemi, who I think, although he's got muscle, he just wasn't really needed at that point. Liverpool was on the offensive. It was just riding out the challenge. In terms of Liverpool, we got a 7.0 for Kelleher. I don't think he put a foot wrong, to be honest. The penalty was great. 7.1 for McConnell. I think he looked lively at times, but his end quality was not where it was at for me. 6.9 for Kwanzaa. I don't think he was horrendous. 6.8 for Gomez. He left on 10 minutes. I don't think you can really rate that. 7.3 for Tsimikas. He, I think, was actually the best player I agree with that, for Liverpool. He was constantly going down the wings, trying to look to make things happen, and he was passionate. Harvey Elliott, 6.7. He was the one who gave away the handball, which did mean that they lost the game overall. I think, unfortunately, these things do happen in football, and I just think he was quite an average player across the game. Endo, 7.2. he showed his versatility, playing both central midfielder and centre defence, and I don't think he really put a foot wrong in that regards. Nyoni didn't get into it, 6.8. I don't think he had really any notable contribution. 6.7, Luis Diaz. They kept all the front three out pretty well, and a 6.6 for Jota and 6.2 for Chiesa. None of them front three really got a sniff of actually shooting, really, and hence why they're all a bit low down there. 6.4 from Mabaya. Yeah, I don't think Mabaya was great. Hence why he got subbed out. He got subbed on for the 11th and subbed out on the 58th. He just wasn't performing. 6.5 Darwin Núñez, yet again, showing you can't score. And 6.7 for Trent Kone-Doherty. He had a decent shot, but I can't really recall much else what he did. Well, it's getting dark outside. You guys can hardly even see me anymore. Thank you, though, for watching. It's been great seeing Plymouth win. It's an upset. I'm sure all Championship Plymouth fans, neutrals, are so happy. And Liverpool are dumped out of the cup. Who will win it this year? Do let me know down below. I think now I'd probably be more likely slighting towards Manchester City. But you could see a team, potentially a Newcastle, potentially a Brighton, someone like that, being a bit of a curveball. But goodbye for now.